The fluorescent lights of the supermarket buzzed faintly overhead, casting a pale glow on the polished floor. Rachel stood in the checkout line, clutching her daughter's small hand. Her tired eyes flicked between the conveyor belt and the register's growing total. Eggs, milk, baby wipes, bread, a few canned goods. Basic needs. Essentials. The cashier scanned the last item. $42.37. Rachel swallowed hard. She opened her worn leather purse, fingers trembling slightly as she thumbed through its contents. 2 crumpled $1 bills, a handful of coins, a faded receipt from last week's gas station. No debit card, no backup plan. Her heart sank. I'm sorry, she mumbled, eyes darting to her daughter, who looked up at her with innocent curiosity. Can I just... Before she could finish, the cashier gave a sympathetic glance, and someone in line behind her let out an audible sigh. Rachel's cheeks burned with embarrassment. I'll just put some things back, she whispered, starting to sort through the items, mentally calculating what her daughter could live without tonight. The air felt heavy with impatience. Behind her, carts creaked forward, murmurs grew louder. Rachel's hands hesitated on the baby wipes. Her daughter tugged at her sleeve gently, unaware of the storm behind her mother's eyes. Rachel forced a small smile, holding back the sting of tears. The world felt unkind tonight, and she felt alone in the middle of a crowd that didn't seem to see her. And then, a quiet voice broke the tension. The line had grown tense, thick with impatience and quiet judgment. Rachel kept her eyes down, her fingers fumbling with the groceries she had started to remove. Her voice barely rose above a whisper. I'm so sorry, I'll put some things back. She reached for the baby wipes again, her pride crumbling in her chest. Just then, a hand reached over the side of the counter, rough, weathered, with age spots and a gold wedding band dulled by time. A $20 bill slid gently toward the cashier. Keep everything, the elderly man said softly. We all need help sometimes. Rachel froze. She turned slowly to face him, a tall man in worn jeans and a faded flannel shirt, his eyes kind and clear behind thick glasses. He wasn't flashy or loud. Just present. Quiet strength wrapped in simplicity. I can't, she stammered. You don't have to, he said with a warm smile. Just take care of her. That's more than enough. Rachel's throat tightened. Her daughter looked up at the stranger with wide eyes, then tugged Rachel's sleeve and asked in an innocent whisper, Mommy, is he an angel? For a moment, time slowed. The chatter of the store faded. The heaviness in Rachel's chest lifted ever so slightly. The man just smiled again and stepped back in line like nothing had happened. Rachel blinked back tears, managing a quiet, thank you. But the words didn't feel like enough. For this stranger who had seen her when no one else did outside the grocery store, the evening air had grown cool, brushing against Rachel's skin like a quiet reminder that the world kept moving, even when your heart was full. She popped the trunk and began loading the bags, her daughter still holding the small stuffed bunny she'd insisted on bringing. The soft rustle of plastic mixed with the distant hum of shopping carts and idle car engines. But inside Rachel, everything had gone still. As she placed the final bag into the trunk, her composure cracked. Tears spilled freely down her cheeks, hot, silent, unstoppable. Not just from embarrassment or relief, but from the kindness she hadn't expected. From a stranger who asked nothing in return. She wiped her face quickly and looked around, scanning the parking lot. Her eyes darted toward the store entrance, the sidewalks, the rows of parked cars. Gone. The elderly man had vanished as quietly as he'd appeared. No name, no parting words, not even a nod goodbye. Mommy, where'd the angel go? Her daughter asked softly from the back seat. Rachel paused, her heart swelling with something she couldn't quite name. She looked up at the dusky sky, clouds tinged with pink and gold. A soft breeze rustled her hair. I don't know, she whispered, more to herself than anyone else. But, thank you, whoever you are. She closed the trunk gently, holding the moment like a fragile gift. Because sometimes, the kindest people leave behind no trace, only the warmth they gave. The grocery store looked just the same. Bright lights, long lines, the soft beep of scanners, and the occasional hum of old ceiling fans. But Rachel wasn't the same. A year had passed. Her new job at the clinic offered stability, and the tired heaviness in her eyes had been replaced with quiet confidence. Her daughter, now a little taller, held her hand as they walked past the checkout lanes. That's when she saw her. A young woman, early 20s, nervous eyes darting to the total on the screen. Her toddler cried in the cart, hands reaching for a small box of cereal. The woman fumbled through her wallet, cheeks flushed with anxiety. Rachel paused. She knew this scene. She'd lived it. Without hesitation, she stepped forward. "Here," she said softly, sliding a $50 bill onto the counter. "Cover it. All of it." The woman looked up, stunned. I don't understand." Rachel offered a calm, kind smile. "Someone once did it for me. I'm just passing it on." The young woman's lips quivered as her eyes filled with tears. The cashier looked between them and gave a small, knowing nod before finishing the transaction. Rachel didn't wait for thanks. She just gently touched the woman's arm and turned back toward her daughter. As they walked out, her daughter asked, "Was that like what the angel did for us?" Rachel nodded. "Exactly like that, because kindness doesn't end. It circles back, quietly, powerfully, just when it's needed most." The house was quiet, bathed in the soft golden glow of a nightlight shaped like a moon. Rachel sat at the edge of her daughter's bed, gently tucking the blanket beneath her small shoulders. The day's warmth lingered in her chest, not from the sun, but from something deeper. Something lasting. Her daughter yawned, hugging her stuffed bunny tight. "Mommy," she asked sleepily, her voice barely a whisper. "Did we help someone, like the angel helped us?" Rachel's eyes softened. She leaned down, brushing a few strands of hair from her daughter's forehead before placing a tender kiss there. "Exactly like that, sweetheart," she whispered. "Sometimes angels don't have wings. Sometimes they wear jeans and pay for groceries." The little girl giggled faintly, eyes drifting toward the ceiling as if trying to imagine a grocery store angel floating above her room. Rachel watched her daughter's eyes flutter closed, her face relaxing into the safety of sleep. A soft smile curved her lips. She stood, pausing by the doorway, heart full. From that ordinary checkout line to this quiet bedroom, something extraordinary had passed between strangers. A spark of kindness, a gift once given, now passed on. Outside, the wind rustled gently through the trees, and the world turned quietly on. Narration fades in. Kindness doesn't need wings to fly. Sometimes, it just needs a heart brave enough to care. And in that moment, the world felt a little softer, a little brighter, and a lot more human.